Hello friends and welcome back. This is your Not Thursday update with the Sly Paladin on our Forbidden City Minecraft build. And the reason it's not Thursday and it's actually coming out on Saturday is because of a couple of things. The primary of them being my internet service provider is garbage and our modem went belly up on us. Not the modem, sorry, the router. And because they are garbage, they had to send a technician, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, incidentally, out to trade them out, which is silly, but it's been traded out. It seems to be working as well as these ninnies are actually capable of doing it. So, like, fine, whatever. And so in this update, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to look at some maps, and we're going to finish the second half, as you can tell, of the blue concrete here. And I can't remember, I'm pretty sure I talked about this in the last update, but you can see that, I've got the lights. Oh yeah, we definitely talked about it in the last update. Because I've got the lights put underneath the glass and it looks good. It matches the theme and the coloring of everything else that we have going on. And it just looks so good. I'm so excited about it. And then the other thing I've had to do is I've been kind of messing around with the positioning of, I don't know if I've done that yet in this. I think I have not done that yet. But I've been messing around with the positioning of the characters because I realized when I looked at the map altogether that there wasn't quite enough space for the third one. Let's see what you've got. Nothing I need. What a surprise. He rarely has anything I need these days because I've been doing it for so long on this particular world, and I have basically managed to collect all the things. And then we're also going to set all this concrete, which I think is just a fun, satisfying thing to do. And then here's where I'm going to go ahead and put in the last of the, oops, I forgot to grab a piece of blank sand. Put at the bottom of that, because that's what I do. I really should have done more detail on this, but like in terms of what was surrounding it, so it all looked the same, but I'm mostly just thinking about from above as opposed to looking in sideways. Excuse me, I will continue trying not to make disgusting head noises. It's kind of a challenge. I'm so excited. Eee, I'm almost done with this silly thing. And it's been so much more work than I expected. Oh, but I love getting that moment of, yes, we did it, sort of. And boom, there's our last light. And now we can put this down and let's fill in the last of this map. And you can see just as we scan around, everywhere else has been filled in with the blue concrete or blue concrete powder. And now we're going to do the last two little 10 by 10s. And I just like to get to share this with everybody because small moments of completion, right? Small moments of completion. And then when we flood everything, it's going to be kind of a big moment of completion, although I think I'm probably going to cut the audio track on that and do zip through that because it takes like 20 minutes. And that's not necessarily the most fun thing ever to watch or listen to my fans in the background, which one day I'm going to have a room where I can do all of this and not have background noise. But I figure that the fans as a constant white noise is better than the random sounds from cats running around, people stomping through, that sort of stuff, since I can't actually leave the living room to do this at the moment. We're just too packed in, and I have to have my foot up because of the dumb leg. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm such a spaz, but I just love it. Alright, so now I have a little bit of extra blue concrete, which is fine because there are a bunch of the plaques. I mean, most buildings have a plaque, but the gates have plaques. So, I'm going to be doing a lot more with the concrete powder in the future, although I may try. I didn't want to go very far from my main base to do this one. So I didn't really go out over deep ocean, and I'm thinking if I find a section of ocean that's really deep and really consistent, I might be able to just be in the ocean and put down the yellow concrete powder to make the characters and stuff. if I don't decide to do more platforms of blue concrete. Let's go ahead and do the top of this one. That's just another little moment of completion. And we've outlined half a word. Go team. Go team. Still pretty snifty. All that gold. I spend way too much time in the Nether. I was so excited earlier today. I was in the Nether and I found one of the Blackstone fortresses that I haven't already looted out. And on top of those, you can find a little like piglin head made out of gold blocks with a little bit of quartzite to make the tusks. And so I got like 10 blocks out of it. I was way too excited for my own good. But you know, let's do what we do. I feel like by the time I get done with this plaque, I'm going to totally be ready to go back and tear down that stupid mountain. So, this has been a good refresher, you know, for me. Plus, I've come up with quite a bit of the experience potions from running around in the ancient cities, which are incredibly nerve-wracking, but doesn't that look great? Yeah, I still need to move that letter up. I don't remember if I'd done that yet. It's on my list. Letter, word, glyph, character. I do not know. Oh, now we're updating the right-hand map. Watch as it gets all pretty and blue along the side. Doo-dee-doo. And boom, there it is. Now I think it's time to flood things. It is. Look, we have water. And of course, if you've never done it with, done this particular thing where you're setting concrete, it can be really fussy about where you put the water source down as to whether or not it's going to travel the whole distance. And sometimes it'll just be like, no, I'm only going to go in a straight line here, especially on this corner. It'll do that. See, it's refusing to spread out all the way. And so you have to go and march all the way out. And chase the bunnies away. And there's another one. Obnoxious thing. Of course, my stupid clicker. Alright, I am going to cut the audio track and do zip zip. So it's going to be kind of wonky sounds as it tends to be. Or maybe I'll come in and like dub some audio over it. We'll see. And to dance! Look, it's done now! All of the concrete is set. And blue. So blue. I don't know why I'm singing that. I know there are a couple of like little patches I'm going to find as I run around in here, but by and large, the overwhelming majority of the concrete has now officially been set, which is fantastic and lovely, and I'm very excited. Yay! Okay, so now it's back to our favorite. Oh, see, there's one I missed. I knew there was going to be one I missed. Right along the edges are the boundaries between the ones, you know, where they meet up, and another one. Another one. I'm not going to say it bites the dust. It's no longer dust. It is now a solid instead of being powdered. So, you know, whatever. All right. Whew, okay. So it's been a few days, and like I've said in the previous part of this video, Thursday didn't happen, not because it was Thanksgiving here, which it was, but like, it's not like I do much. I help the spousal unit and other family members cook, mostly by giving them the recipes while I sit, because, you know, the whole broken leg thing makes it impossible for me to stand for any amount of time. But the reason, like I said, is my internet service provider is not always ideal. And the router finally just gave out on us. And so it wasn't until yesterday, which for me now would be Friday, that I was able to get that back up and running. So if you can't tell from the offhand map, I've actually moved the second character up a little bit because there just was not quite enough space to fit the third one on. And I really wanted it to be, you know, right there. So I'm going to go grab the other map and put a few things away, and then we'll go down and start adding a little bit more to what's already marked out down there. Ooh. And I have spent, if you can't tell, I've spent a significant amount of time digging for gold. I've been in the nether quite a bit, and just gotten a ton, which is great. Let's see. Yeah, look at all that. That's great. And another Soul Speed book. I love Soul Speed. It lets you run over soul sand and soul soil, and you go like super duper fast. So I always like, if I see them and feather falling, I always collect them. So that's just been sitting in my inventory for a while. Because of the way that I'm using the tablet, which is what I'm recording this on, I won't be able to show adding more parts to the character, but we can at least see what's already been set up and have a little tiny touch of map, which is always my favorite. Okay. Music time. Let's put that down there. Do not need flint and steel. And I've kind of been distracted a lot the last couple of weeks because there's a new drama that I've really been into called Fateful Love, which is adorable. It's a little silly sometimes, but it's also really cute, and I just can't quite get enough of it. So, anywho. So yeah, like I said, you can see that things have been moved up a bit so that I can, and I may actually have to do that again, and I'll do that before I finish filling this in. This part clearly I'm not entirely thrilled with, so there'll probably be a little bit of adjustment going on before I'm done, but it's still coming, you know, along, and I like the fact that it's coming along. So let's put, don't be like that. I mean, yes, I'm going to fill it in, but I want to do the outline first, so there. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. I'm still super duper happy with the choice to use gold. What was the other show? There was another show I was watching. Well, of course, I'm obsessed with like true crime stuff. Oh, on a related but unrelated note, apparently update number 12 did not end up in a lot of people's feeds because of the term I used to refer to Little Shadow's toes. And the algorithm was not a huge fan. So if you haven't seen it and you're interested, you should definitely go back in the my backlog, my videos, and check it out, because there is a really cute little clip of Baby Shadow and her ongoing battles with the chair. And nobody's ever really sure who's winning, the cat or the chair, but you know, she has fun. I guess that's what matters. A gremlin. But yeah, so we have a new router now, and it seems to be mostly behaving itself. We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of my ISP. Actually, I kind of hate them. I think they charge way too much for service that's not terribly consistent, but that's life. So, anyways, that's what I've got for this part of the updates, and I will go ahead and lay the rest of it out so that that can be Tuesday. Will be hopefully the map time showing off. Yeah, love that little flashover, right? Showing off the next part of this character, and then we'll get to move down to the third word. And this has been a significantly bigger project than I ever expected it to be, almost exclusively because of the choice to use gold for the words. And I'm definitely not going to do that for all of the other plaques. I think only for the ones that run down the middle, since those are kind of the important buildings. The rest I will probably go with, I'm actually leaning towards glass with torches underneath. If I can use yellow glass and have the light come through, that would be pretty neat to look at. But I do think that the concept of using these maps and then laying everything out is working pretty nifty. So let's look at them on the wall. How's that? Pretty fantastic, I think. All right. Thanks for hanging with me.